All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Bahara Kodash. I want to say double honor to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone for teaching his word and truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. It is the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson was inspired by a quick video Apostle Tahar just uploaded entitled "Is JoJo a Jake, an Israelite?" And the obvious question, if you listen to this woman's music, you look at her background, you would say yes if you had spiritual understanding. And with this had me thinking when I was just looking up, because I already knew who she was, and already knew she was a Jake, but just for edification's sake, I still looked up some of her music, and I also looked at her Wikipedia page, and it had me thinking, this is the reason why Esau wants to get rid of us, man. Not just the so-called Negroes, West Indians and Haitians, Latinos and Native Americans, because we are the Israelites and we exactly look like these people, but also too because our seed is spread amongst the world. And Esau, with all his technology, with all his advances, he can't tell who an Israelite and who's not an Israelite. You know, he don't have that spiritual understanding. Like when the Lord come back, the angels are going to come down and they're going to do that work because they know who's an Israelite and who's not an Israelite. They know who's an Israelite of the elect and who's not of the Israelites of the elect, right? Real quick, Slaki. So the Lord knows who the Israelites are and who aren't Israelites, you know. And unlike Esau, the angels, they can spiritually discern these things because it doesn't matter what an Israelite looks like on the outside. They push this narrative about the so-called black Hebrew Israelites or black supremacist groups, and we aren't that. Because when you look amongst us, particularly Great Millstone, you see brothers of all different types of hues and different types of so-called colors, man. From the so-called white to the so-called black, from the so-called Latino to the so-called African. You see Israelites of all colors, and that's because we've been scattered amongst the whole entire world, and that's something Christianity can't grasp. That's something that Esau Edom can't grasp. Which the super elite, they probably know this. That's why their main goal and objective is to destroy the vast majority of the people on the earth by way of any diabolical means they could foment and come up with, right? Because they know about our nation and how it only take just one of our men, okay, to bring us all back, man. So their mindset is like, hey, let's get them out of here. And you see a lot of our people scattered amongst these different nations. And one big thing that you could spot a Israelite is just look at their talent, their natural gifts. Okay, look at their spirit. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. Romans 8 and 16. This is the spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. If so be that we suffer with them, that we may be also glorified together. So not only does the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the sons and the daughters of the Most High, okay, but guess what else we are? We're the heirs. We're the heirs of what? Of the promise. And Esau knows this. This is why he wants to get rid of us. This is why he wants to take us out of the way, on top of the fact thinking that that's going to give or grant him his so-called birthright back, which he don't have a birthright in Yahweh Shem Shah. His birthright was the weapon, with the sword, okay, and to rule the world in wickedness and evil. But just for a lot of people, particularly Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, we've been so long without, we've been so oppressed that you don't want to open your mind to not I don't like using the word open-minded, but you don't want to realize in your own minds that, hey man, we're scattered amongst all these people, man. You know, and JoJo, she's an example of an Israelite amongst the heathen, man. Okay, her background is, I can't play none of her music because I don't want to get it banned. But just look at her latest video she had like a month ago. It's like over 1 million views, man. And you can't tell me that that's not a Israelite woman, man. She's dancing on beat. She's singing on beat. She's writing these introspective lyrics. They sound good. Her voice is awesome. And she's one of these so-called stars that didn't really get an opportunity to really burst onto the scene like a lot of these other so-called musicians, man. All right. She had some successful hits as a child, but then it wasn't, man, because her music wasn't Edomitish. You know, she sing a lot of R&B type music, man. You know, and that's the type of music she liked to sing. This is her history. JoJo, okay, it says her personal life. JoJo lived in Edgewater, New Jersey with her mother until age 18 when she moved. Matter of fact, let me read up. It says, this is her early life. Joanna Noel Levisque was born in 1990 in Brattleboro, Vermont, but raised in Keene, New Hampshire, and Foxborough, Massachusetts. She has Irish, Polish, and French ancestry. She grew up in a one-bedroom apartment in Foxborough in a low-income family. And when I saw that, I was like, yep. You know, they're all poor whites. Don't get it twisted. They're poor Edomites. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man. She got all of these spiritual gifts, and she grew up like a Jake. Like, nah, that ain't right. Because you don't see a whole bunch of poor white trash really popping off like that. Hey, Britney Spears is an Israelite, man. And she's catching hell right now. Justin Timberlake, another Israelite. And how do we know that? Because the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit, man. That what we are, the sons of the living power, man. Okay? And it's not a mystery to us anymore that we were scattered amongst the nations, man. It says her father, Joel Maurice Levisque, sang as a hobby. And so she inherited that gift from her father. And her mother, Diana Levisque, sang in Catholic church choir. And she got it from her mom, too. And was trained in musical theater. JoJo's parents divorced when she was 4 years old. And she, them curses, man. And she was raised as an only child by her mother. A single parent, a single mother home, man. You see? It says, as a child, JoJo listened to her mother practice hymns. She started singing when she was 2 years old. Come on, bro. That's spiritual. And it says, and she started singing from 2 years old by imitating everything from nursery rhymes to R&B, jazz, and soul tunes. Get the hell out of here, man. Ain't no Edomite doing this. Bill Gates kids ain't doing nothing like this. Huh? Trump kids ain't doing nothing like this. As a child, JoJo enjoyed attending come on, bruh. As a child, JoJo enjoyed attending Native American festivals and acted locally in professional theaters. So this child was gifted. You know, and when you look at her visage, you're like, oh, that's an Edomite. Nah, this is an Israelite. This is an Israelite woman right here, man. Okay? And she may not recognize herself as an Israelite. She might assume that she's a so-called white woman because of what she looked like. Because Esau, he messed up the minds of the people that got you thinking that just because of what somebody looked like on the outside, that's what they are. And it's not true. She may be able to benefit from her so-called looking like a so-called white woman in this world. But hey, that's just a part of it. This woman is clearly our people, man. Jeremiah 12:8. Mine heritage is unto me as a lion in the forest. I'm sorry, Salakia. Jeremiah 12:9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour her. And so the Lord said his heritage is as a speckled bird. Let's get that word for heritage. The Hebrew word there for heritage is nahalah, and it says possession, and we are the Lord's possession, inheritance. We are Yahweh Shem Shai's inheritance. We are his portion. All right? Properly something inherited. And we are the Lord's people. So his people are what? A speckled bird. Or as a speckled bird. Let's go back to that word for speckled in the Hebrew. All right? The Hebrew word there is Saba Taza or Sabawai, or Taza Salaki, Taza Bawai, And it says colored, variegated, and that's different. Speckled, man. So we come in all kinds of complexions, man. From the exhibited from the dark to the light of the light, so-called white. We that, and a lot of you jakes that have a hard time understanding this truth, and you can't accept it because the Lord haven't opened your eyes or ears to retain this information and to accept this information, you know. And I understand a lot of you jakes, they just feel like, well, we ain't got nothing. They taking everything. They bringing everybody into it. No, the fact of the matter is what happened to our people happened, which that we were scattered amongst the people. Esau himself is scattered amongst the people, man, dealing with women of the different nations, having progeny with them. And you got Edomites that look like all the other nations too. A lot of these nations, all of these nations have mingled amongst our people, man, and our people mingled amongst them. But through the word of Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord is able to separate us from those that are not. This is St. Matthew chapter 25, verse 31. The judgment, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them, right? Because it's showing you that the Lord is not bringing the world together. He's going to separate the nations. He's going to separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. And he shall set his sheep on his right hand. We know that the sheep are the Israelites, but the goats on the left, the goats are the Edomites, these other nations, even 2/3 of our people spiritually. Okay? So what? The Lord's going to separate his people from out of the people. Why? Because we are mixed and mingled amongst these people, man. This is Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. So the Lord is going to take us from among the heathen, man, whither we have gone, because we are scattered amongst these people. This is where you get Revelation 7 and 9. Okay, it says, after this I beheld a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Why did you see that when you go up, you read that this 144,000, those prophets grabbed out of each of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's 144,000, and then the rest of the elect, which is the not mixed multitude, but the multitude of people from out of all kindreds and tongues and nations, man. Why? Because we were scattered amongst these nations. This was a major curse that was levied upon our people. This Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And it's in other places too, where the Lord said he's going to go grab us from up out of these nations, man, where we were scattered. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth. And that includes the Edomites. We scattered amongst them unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay? So, just showing you that, hey, our people are going to come out of these other nations, man. Israelites ain't just black people. Israelites ain't just Latino people. You got Israelites scattered amongst each and every last nation on the planet Earth. Okay? And by this word, it is gathering the elect of our people from out of all of these people. But then when Yahweh Shai come down and sit on that throne, the Lord's going to separate these nations again, man. It's not going to be a universal nation. It's not going to be a universal gathering. That's not going to happen. The Lord going to separate people and put order back into this world, man. And you're going to have Israelites just like you got now looking like the other nations, man. But a key point, if you have the spiritual eyes and ears to see, a key factor is that you can look at the spirit on our people. And this woman, JoJo, is definitely an Israelite. So I just wanted to bring that out. Hope you were edified. On to the next.